Hey, just a short introduction about me. I was a programmer working mainly on physics on AAA games for about 5 years. I thought it was cool that GEEGA was talking about AI code, and it's up my alley, so here we go.
So is a CS degree worth it, you think? I was told that a lot of it would be made irrelevant by AI. Let me tell you right now, there's so many people that use AI to do their schoolwork for CS right now. It is AI code is
Yeah, so when I was doing computer science and even a few years after I graduated, AI was not really a thing. But I have used AI code a little bit and I have looked at a little bit of AI code and it is not very good, like GEEGA is saying.
It's garbage. Maybe way in the future it could be good. I don't think it will be anytime soon. I had people submit things to me previously where they used AI, and I would do code review and look over it and go, this is and then
Yeah, so I've actually had a friend whose coworker was using AI, and it is pretty obvious if somebody is using AI. I think AI can program the feature, but it won't necessarily be good code. Like there'll be a lot of like extraneous like helper functions, like really erroneously like named functions, just stuff that like a human would never write, and it's pretty easy to tell.
I would fire that person or tell them, if you can't make this yourself, you're not allowed to do this work. And that's it. So if you use it for a test, you're learning nothing. You're going to be a programmer. And when you go to get a job, there are going to be people who learned how to do these things without it, and they're going to get the job over you. Or maybe the person hiring you doesn't know the difference, and as long as it works, it functions, so they hire you. But later down the line, you will have an issue. Also, yeah, a lot of the time when you get a job in using a CS degree in some way, you end up falling into a position that gets more and more specific over time, and there will be so many things that you are going to have to learn that AI will not be able to do because
Yeah, I agree with this. Like, if you use AI to cheat all the time, you're basically just never going to learn the fundamentals. And you're going to fall behind skill wise pretty fast. Yeah, just because you don't know what you're doing. And she is right. Like, if you do take jobs that require CS degrees, like specialized jobs like ML, AI, even like game development, like I was a physics programmer. Like if you go into graphics programming, stuff that isn't like general gameplay or like general web dev stuff, then yeah, you're gonna have to know how stuff actually works. Because there's like complicated stuff to do with like memory and like actually knowing how the computer works. That's really vague, but yeah, AI won't be able to save you there.
it hasn't been trained to do that thing. And you will then realize that you don't understand a lot of basic concepts about this stuff, and they're not really ingrained in your brain because you used AI the whole time. And then when you try to learn something new, you're going to feel like you're still at a low college level, and you're going to be like, oh my God, I'm an idiot. You're going to feel stupid.
Yeah, she's pretty much right.
It's really bad. It's doing you a huge disservice. You said VPs can't read codes. They don't know how bad it is. It's true. But eventually something will break and you won't be able to fix it. And then you will get fired for it. I've seen it happen. You use AI for
Yeah, I've personally never seen anyone use AI, but I can see that happening.
unit tests. That's so stupid. It shouldn't be allowed. I think if you want to use it in the workplace after you've demonstrated that you know how to do it, I have no problem with someone using it as an assisting tool. But to allow students to use it on a test and not display that they know how to do it without it is really bad, because then when they're going in and fixing something, a lot of your work as a programmer, as a developer, is not just building stuff. It's going in and fixing things that already exist. So if you cannot do code review on that and just piece together what needs to change because you're used to AI just building a thing for you, you're a lot of real life work you're not going to be able to do. Obviously, it depends on what kind of company you're in. Some companies, they build everything. That's cool. But typically, when you're brought into a company to do upkeep on anything or maintenance, you're working on something that someone else built. Okay, and you cannot use AI to.
Yeah, that's definitely true. Honestly, I think AI as like an assisting tool is definitely not bad. I've asked AI how to do some stuff in Unreal because their documentation is like non-existent and it's like really hard to find out what to do. And I think something like that, where it's like assisting you in building something, is not bad.
Adjust that, it f***s it up every time. And I think it's not enough of a good tool to save people that much time yet. I've looked at it, I've looked into it very heavily, and it just... You spend so much time going back over it and code reviewing it and then changing things around that it would have been faster to just do it yourself, honestly.
That's kind of true.
You were recently hiring for a programmer and you rejected so many people who were clearly just copy pasting from ChatGPT in the interview. Yeah, that's why I think interviews need to be calls. I think we need to revert to you sit there and call the person. So they have to sit there and answer you in real time. And I know that takes more man hours. I know that kind of sucks, but I would love to see us, because of AI, revert to more personal interviewing. And people will use ChatGPT and you'll do a written thing and call people and take the ones that sound good. But yeah, if people know that they have to do a practical in-person interview a little sooner than like when you're about to get the job, like one step beforehand, I think that'll weed a lot of them out. So,
did we not already do in-person tests? I guess that's true. I guess there is like a lot of man hours that's wasted on actually like weeding through and trying to sift out like what is AI and what is not. Yeah, I don't know. Don't we do mainly in-person calls and stuff like that anyways?
You have to get 3 apprentices back up to speed because someone in management wasted a year of their time on ChatGPT. They can't program for no. I know. It's bad.
I wonder if some sort of cottage industry of in-person interview centers will spring up.
That exists already. So basically, these are staffing companies. You will find someone who does staffing and you will say, I have these positions, I need people who do these things. And then they will pull from a huge list of resumes and people that they've kept in a database that they have interviewed or at least gotten a preliminary screening of, and then start interviewing those people for it and then give you those people. That exists and you can just pay for that. That has actually been around for a long while. I've actually worked in that. I have worked as being someone that vets people through a company like that before.
Huh, interesting. Did not know that existed, or did know that it existed, but I've never been involved in that process.
As like a side thing a while back. It's annoying. This is why I feel so strongly about like how people come out of college with CS degrees, right? And what they do right after that. And I have so much to say on like the education of it, is because I spent time doing that for a while. And it's it's so bad. I've been brought in as an SME to go and, be that guy kind of doing some complex hiring for some really like specific roles. So that's why I've done that sort of thing. And oh man, it's terrible. Tests should be the last thing you let unverified AI code handle. Yeah, I like this comment. You said for AI, it's useful for setting up a scaffold for certain things sometimes, but yeah, in the end, you need to integrate everything. Yeah, exactly. That's why I was saying, like, I think it can be used as an assisting tool, but you can't just let it generate something and then put it in front of someone and go.
Yeah, you definitely need to vet AI code. Like, I've had so many times where I was like, hey, I need this component to do something. Can you like generate some code to do this? It'd be like, sure, you need to use this function, component do something. And I'd be like, that seems really specific. I don't think that's a function that exists. I would copy and paste it and it just straight up doesn't exist. I go back, I'm like, this function doesn't exist. And they're like, oh, my bad. Here's the real function, component do something too. And I'm like, I don't think that exists either.
So I made this, or like me and my tool made this, it's good. Like there's still so much human review that has to happen depending on what you're using it for. And it just, it's not worth it. It's just not worth it. You end up spending so much time. And the thing is, if it did something right and you review it and it looks okay, you saved yourself time. But if it didn't do things right, you review the code that it made and it's not okay and you have to redo things or piece stuff together, you often waste so much more time doing that. And the review process was useless. You should have just built it. So
yeah, I definitely agree. The only time I used it was when I absolutely couldn't find how to do something myself, or I felt like if I wanted to take a small time investment gamble and just ask it something and then copy and paste, and if it didn't work, okay, fuck it. Then we just need to figure it out ourselves. But yeah, otherwise I think like leaning heavily too much into it probably wastes you more time.
So it's really hit or miss, honestly. You're trying to add AI into your QA process, you tested it and it... You tested it in as a pilot. It literally takes more time to test with AI. I know. I've done that. I've been asked to, okay, here's a thing that I've done before. I'll directly tell you one work project that I've done. I was testing whether or not using AI to QA a certain thing was more or less efficient, and then advising a company on whether or not they should continue using this AI to assist in QA.
Whoa, that's insane.
Was essentially brought in to audit that process, right? And advise if this was a yes or no. It was terrible. It was terrible. It added double the time. Yeah, you have to QA everything that the AI QAs, exactly. When it found that something was wrong, it could not explain why it was bad properly in any actionable way. This is why you have people who do QA, because one of their main skill sets is being able to articulate what is wrong and to who. They're a subject matter expert that can then tell a developer what's wrong. Maybe they are not a developer themselves, but they know how to articulate it. That's why they were brought in for QA, right?
Yeah, I would never trust AI to vet anything. That seems like a really bad idea. It sucks though. I would love to have a world where AI can QA things because QA is one of the most like god shit jobs, I feel like. I don't know about other industries, but for the game industry, it's miserable. Like I would ask a QA person who reported a bug that I was working on. I'd be like, "Hey, can you test this 10 times on fucking Xbox, PC, and iOS?" And it's miserable. You're just trying to do the same thing, replicate the same thing like 30 times on like 5 different platforms. It sucks, bro. And I really wish that like people didn't have to do it, but honestly, I don't trust AI.
Right? Or they're an employee in the company. They're using some product that you were making, and you say, you're an employee, do your day to day, but use this tool and then tell me what you think. You want
Or yeah, we have that QA process where it's like if we're developing tools for like artists or whatever, we'll just be like, hey, let us know if it breaks or whatever.
that person using it, not an AI that has not worked this job for years, right? It just, ugh. Ugh, it was so bad. And that audit, at least in this case that I was auditing, the results were bad. The results were bad, really bad. That's all. And, I do genuinely, I hope it gets better. I hope it becomes a very usable tool. I would love if it were that good. I would love if that were good. There's still issues that come along with it getting that good, but I would love if it could be. I think I want it not at all or for it to be good. I don't like this in between, like it's not good, yet people are still pretending it is kind of fake.
Yeah, I agree with GEEGA. I think people are getting a little too hyped, a little too fast. I definitely think I agree, it should be like, let's not use it, or like, it's crazy and it works. And yeah, we are in this weird limbo of like, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I don't know. It's a bit weird.